So let me ask you, how are you guys doing these days?
Doing pretty good.
The news from this world is getting crazier by the minute. And no matter how much we say, fine, you got to ask yourself, how are you really doing? When people ask me, as I'm running into people out in the world, wherever that may be, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. When in truth, there's a lot that's going on that makes me just sick. There's a lot going on that well, this past week I was reminded of a friend of mine who moved to Panama many years ago. Kind of makes me wonder if that's not a bad idea. You know, I mean, there are things going on within us that if we don't tune into, they play a very big part on our well-being. If I am serious, if I'm considering, even if it's in the back of my mind, if I'm considering it might be better to live somewhere else, but I stay where I am, whether that somewhere else is New Mexico or Illinois or Texas, wherever that may be. If I'm considering somewhere else might be better, but I stay where I am and ignore that feeling, if I don't consider that feeling, that thought, I'm doing myself a disservice. I am not serving my well-being. When I tuned into that thought about Panama a little closer, I realized, no, that's not what I really want. It was just a fleeting thought. It was just a way to maybe escape some of the craziness that we see. That's not what I really want. So it can just be one of those playful things to consider every once in a while. It gives me a break. I can move down there and be standing on the water's edge.
Dream on.
So we have to tune in. So when somebody asks you, how are you doing? You can answer it verbally however you want to, but be sure that you're checking in. And then ask yourself that quite often as well. Most of us, me included, most of us are sitting back, I'm fine. And we're waiting and hoping that everything gets back to normal. Well, we're going to have to redefine normal. It's not ever going to go back to the way it was. And in many ways, that's a good thing. Okay? It's not all negative. It's not all negative. There are some things that are happening in this world today that are absolutely wonderful compared to the way it went 10 years ago. There's some craziness going on now that I wish would go away and we'd go back to normal. Again, this is all about awareness. So that brings me to the point of this talk today is how much time are you spending in present moment awareness? If I'm picking up my phone and scrolling through social media, I might be in the here and now looking at what's going on, but everything I'm seeing is not present moment. It's something that happened 10 minutes ago, something that happened 3 days ago, a year ago, whatever the case may be. It's not present moment. Present moment is when we stop. How am I doing right this minute? What am I feeling right this minute? What am I thinking right this minute? What's going on? It's tuning in to here and now. This is very important. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about ways that help tune into the present moment, but we're going to talk first about the importance of it. Present moment awareness sounds like meditation, prayer, silence. It can be. but it's not limited to. In fact, if you require it to be meditation, prayer, and silence, you may never get there. Especially if silence is a big part of it, because this world is getting noisy. You know, just what we see throughout the day creates noise in our own mind. Even if we're sitting in a room that is soundproof, we're not adding any noise to it. Our mind is noisy. Okay, so if you're waiting on silence, you got a long wait. There are some people who can tune out. I, every once in a while, can experience that. But I find it more and more difficult to do. Present moment awareness can be found anywhere, anytime, any situation. It can even be found in things. You can have present moment awareness while you're watching the news. Present moment awareness doesn't mean, oh, everything's perfect. It means that you're seeing truth. It means that you're experiencing truth. This is where we get hung up. For me, for a long time, I got hung up here. I thought that, oh, if I want to have present moment awareness, I've got to be in a perfect situation, perfect frame of mind. Everything's going to be loving and joyful. And no. Present moment awareness is just being in the experience of truth. So even watching a news outlet that is totally opposite of your belief system, you can find present moment awareness, because you can watch it and know what is truth, what is illusion, what is false. Not that you're judging. Don't get me wrong here. It's not about judging, because if we start judging, we are falling right back into the same old stuff that got us in the need for present moment awareness in the first place. It's a vicious cycle. So it's not judging. It's not saying, oh, that's bad. It's looking at that saying, that's an illusion. Or that's truth. How great would it be if beyond a shadow of a doubt you could know truth in every situation that you face? How amazing would that be? Because if you know truth, your need to correct, or your need to judge, or your need to cast shame, they're gone. Because when you know truth, you can breathe into that and know that you are one with that truth. You are in the expression of God. There's no need to judge. There's no need to prove wrong. There's no reason. There's no need to see anything other than that truth. What a burden would be lifted when you get into that experience, that state of mind, that state of knowing and understanding. Present moment, being present, is opening consciousness to our thoughts. We do have choices on that. A lot of us feel like this thought happened, this got to be true, now I've got to do something about it. And social media is built on this. I have a thought that that's wrong. I've got to prove to everybody that that's wrong, and this is the only way that's right. I've got to show everybody how wrong this is. Social media is a $1 billion a moment industry because of that thought process. Well, I don't have to take this thought and prove somebody wrong. If I'm having to do that, if my thought is so insecure that I've got to prove how right I am, and prove every other thought wrong, I'm not dealing with truth. So that's why it's so important to check in with your thoughts. That's part of being present. When we are present, what am I thinking now? We have a choice. We can hang on to that thought, or we can say, that does not serve my highest good. What does? In present moment awareness, we can also tune into our feelings. A lot of times thoughts are fleeting. What am I thinking now? Oh, it's gone. Here's a new one. Your feelings, though, don't come and go quite as fast. You can tune into your feelings. What am I feeling now? If you're feeling whatever you're feeling, you know, you can be assured that your thoughts are feeding that feeling. If you're feeling depressed, I guarantee you your thoughts are not happy. If you're feeling very loving, I guarantee you your thoughts are not hateful. You can't have thoughts of one degree and feelings of another. Your thoughts and your feelings are going to line up. So if you're having trouble determining what feeling or what thoughts you're having, tune into your feelings. Now here's the cool thing. Does that feeling serve you? That's a pretty easy answer. It's a very easy answer. It's been a while now, but I had an experience where I asked somebody, the person was dealing with feelings of hate towards someone else. How's that working for you? It's working good. How's it working good? Well, it keeps me angry at them. It keeps them, pushed away all that. How's it working for you? Well, I don't want them around me. So how's the hate working for you? Once they started thinking about it, they realized the hate was just building up within them. It was causing some physical, not illness, but physical things that they had to deal with. It was causing them to lose other friends because the hate was starting to flow over. They were able to realize through all of this that the hate did not serve them. They thought it did. They thought it served a purpose, but it doesn't. They were able to switch. They were able to turn and change gears and get back to a place of love. Didn't mean they had to love that person. See, that's where we get messed up. Something happens out in the world, we see it, we're going to hold hate on it, we're going to keep throwing hate at it and throw hate at it. It starts flowing over everywhere else. We're not in present moment. We are in the past, trying to deal with that, thinking that what we're doing now is helping. No, we can get back into that state of love, that state where we grow, where we expand, where we rise up into our truth. Doesn't mean we have to let that thing, person, whatever it was that we hated, we don't have to let that back in. We don't have to allow that to affect us anymore. But we can't do that unless we're in present moment and aware of the feelings. Becoming aware of the feelings, we become aware of the thoughts. We can make changes. Does it serve my highest good? Present moment awareness opens our communications as well. Back to that hate. If I have hate towards someone else, or anger, regret, depression, whatever it is about anything, it shuts off my communication. How quick are we to say, I'm fine? We shut off communication. When we're in present moment awareness, if somebody asks us how we're doing and we're not fine, we will find a way to say so in a loving way. Honest, authentic. The thing about it is if you're in present moment awareness, tuned into your feelings and tuned into your thoughts, you will be fine. You'll be better than fine. Fine just becomes a grade. Then you become happy, joyful, loving. That's the way we communicate, not only with others, but with ourselves. When you learn this, when you start communicating with yourself, when you start checking in, becoming present, own your truth, you'll find, even walking down the aisle at the store, you'll say, how are you doing today? And the way you ask the question and the eye contact that you make, that person's going to open up to you. Several years ago, I worked at a grocery store for a while. I can't tell you how many authentic communications, conversations I had in the aisle while I was doing my job because of the way I asked somebody how they were doing. Kathy can attest to it. People open up to me even when I don't want them to sometimes. I find out about how many kids they have. A guy at one of the campgrounds that we were at, I found out that he had 2 dogs. He had a wife. They lived in Oregon. They traveled all over the world. He actually spent time in jail. He's telling me his life story, and I simply asked him, hey, how are you doing today? It happens all the time. It's not because I'm such a great guy. It's because I actually care about hearing the answer. I ask the question in a way that people just go, oh, I can trust. That's the greatest gift I've ever been given, I think. Sometimes I get more story than I want. But the gift is the fact that people feel trusting and open enough to give it. That's what being present does. When you are present, whether it be with yourself or other people, things open. Your understanding grows. And until understanding grows, there will never be peace. There will never be an understanding of truth. So this is why being present is important. Okay? So, how do you get there? Beside the fact that we just talked about asking yourself, what am I thinking? What am I feeling now? One of the simplest ways to do it is, and we've talked about it here before, one of the simplest things is the 3-breath awareness. And I don't know if that's what it's really called. I didn't invent the process, but that's what I call it. 3-breath awareness is simply where you take a breath in to the count of 4, hold it to the count of 4, and then you exhale to the count of 6. In your mind, you're focused on that breathing in and the count. You're focused on the holding and the count. You're focused on breathing out and the count. What you're going to realize, you do this 3 times, most of the time that 3 is enough, you'll find that you are focused only on breath. You cannot be more present than that. Now you can do this in a simpler way. You can also just be aware of your breath as you're going through your day. You know, every once in a while, just remind yourself, I'm breathing in. Ah, I feel it. I'm breathing in. Okay, now I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. Now I'm breathing out. When you get that focus going, it doesn't matter what's happening around you. Your focus comes in. When you think about that, that is a powerful place for your focus to be, because where did Jesus say the kingdom of heaven was? Within. Why would I want to look within? It's the kingdom of heaven. What is the kingdom of heaven? To me, it's love. It's truth. It's peace. It's joy. Can't think of one bad thing associated with the kingdom of heaven. So why not look within? Why not be present? We've been tricked for many, many years that we have to die to experience the kingdom of heaven. We can experience it. We can experience the kingdom of heaven and all that that means by tuning into it, becoming present, being right here, right now, looking within. The communication part of being present is, there's a beautiful tool that I think we've talked about this before as well, but I'm going to just touch on it briefly. It's called the love model. And the reason this is so great is because you have to be present to practice it. And the love model stands for this: listen openly, validate equally. You listen openly. You have to be there. You have to be right here, right now, to hear what's coming out of that other person's mouth or yourself. We can have conversation with ourselves and be in two different places. You know, we got the one side telling us all this stuff's going on. We got the other side over here going, "Ooh, I want to go to the store this afternoon." We have to bring it together. We have to be present. We have to be aware. But we listen openly. Validate equally is simply repeating back what you just heard in your own words to validate the other person was heard, to validate I was heard. Think about the times that you have expressed an opinion and been ignored. Think about the time you expressed an opinion and were agreed with. The time that you expressed an opinion and were shot down. Being ignored hurts the most. This has been proven in many different ways. There was a study, somebody cooked up a whole big batch of rice, and they put rice in these glass jars. They put one on one side with light, and they put one on one side that was dark, one just right in the middle. The one that had the light, they would talk to it. They would send loving messages to it. The one on the dark side, they sent negative messages to it. The one in the middle, they ignored. The one in the middle started breaking down faster than even the one that the negative messages were going to. So validation is huge, whether you're speaking to somebody else or yourself. Don't ignore what's going on in your own mind, in your own heart. Validate. Validate that you've witnessed it. Don't just ignore it. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. If you're feeling pain, don't ignore it. Don't push it aside and try to, push through it. Validate. It's there. Doesn't mean it's true. It's your truth. It doesn't mean that you've got to keep putting up with it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. But it's in the ignoring of it that it becomes worse. Now, if you buy into it and start thinking of it as truth and all of that, that's like giving attention, the negative attention to it. It's going to get worse, but not as bad as if you just ignore it totally. Ideally, you get through it and give it positive, give it information. So during these uncertain times, become conscious of what's going on within you in the moment. Because folks, it's in this moment is what defines us. It's not what happened yesterday. It's not what happened in the past. It's not what's going to happen to us. It's what's happened right now. It's how we are responding right now that matters. So become conscious of it. Become conscious of the communications that you have with yourself, the communications you have with others. Being in present moment awareness, being in this present moment, projecting a calm and loving attitude, communicating with the intent to understand. It allows your truth to be expressed, and it allows you to experience your truth. You will never experience the beautiful and perfect truth of you in the future or in the past. You can only experience it right here and right now. You have a beautiful gift. So just practice present moment awareness. It will transform your entire experience of life. I haven't found a way yet to be present all the time. You would think that that would be something that I would have learned a long time ago because I was able, I've been fortunate enough to experience moments of it. And those moments have been beautiful. So you would think, oh, I'm going to create a formula that lets me do this all the time. I hadn't figured that out yet. But I do know that every time I remind myself to experience present moment, I can do it. So I invite you to do the same. Find your own practice that allows you to do that. When you do that, know that your emotional and your physical, your mental, spiritual well-being are being served. Let's pray. There is but one presence, one power, one wisdom in all the universe, and that is God, the good. In present moment awareness, I know I am one with God. I am one with the light of God. I am one with the love of God. I am one with the peace of God. I am one with the wisdom of God. I am one with the power of God. As I express the light of God through me, I radiate God's energy to everyone I meet. As I express and experience the love of God, I share compassion and understanding to all. As I express and experience the peace of God, I soothe everyone around me. I am completely and fully the expression of God. As the full and complete expression of God, I am capable of all that I desire. Abundant wealth, complete health, compassionate love, pure peace are all mine. I and the Father are one. Knowing this truth, we say, and so it is. Thank you, God. Amen.
Amen.